Normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
The Marvels sets a new record for lowest grossing MCU movie ever.
Whoa.
The Marvels managed to do worse than The Incredible Hulk, a 2008 movie that grossed just $260 million after its run in the movie theaters. So,
Wow.
you know, I know a lot of people probably don't care, but I just want to point out this is like the end of an era for Disney. Disney is spiraling into the gutter. The Marvels, with their here, well, let me show you the characters. Look, we got look at this. You know what this looks like? This looks like your late 90s like fast food restaurant ad where you've got, and I mean it. Look, you've got a white woman, a black woman, and an ethnically ambiguous woman. And I don't mean that to be a dick, but when they would always show these like cartoon characters in these commercials like McDonald's or whatever, and you're like, that's a white woman, that's a black woman, and that woman could be Asian, Middle Eastern, she could be Arabic, she could be Latino. Like, we don't know for sure. And that was the point. They're trying to show this, you know, like, look at all of these people of different backgrounds. And they did. And get this, they say, after being released about a month ago, the film, which notably features Brie Larson, managed to gross only $80 million in North America and $197 million globally. The Hulk is widely considered to be one of the worst films they've ever done. And now they've made a movie that did even worse. This is good news. And I bring you this story today to tell you to keep your head up, because the culture war is, well, we're winning it. And Disney stated to their investors that they screwed up royally. And this is such a tremendous nuclear bomb of a failure for a movie that, you know, I think we're going to win this one.
Did you see it?
No. Why would I go see it?
I have no interest.
Is that sad for Marvel fans? Like, if you love the
very
Marvel
sad.
series, is it hard to see it kind of go up in flames like this?
Infinity War was the end.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time they made Iron Man 3, I was like, why? What are they doing, man? I was
Wrong.
a huge Marvel fan in the 90s and in the early 2000s, but really the mid 90s.
No, I like Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. It was just like I could just feel like they were capitalizing on it at that point. I mean, obviously they were when Disney bought Marvel.
But Iron Man 3 was like, what was it, like 2013 or something?
Yeah, thereabouts. That was when I was fully like, it's gone.
It was like its sixth movie or something like that.
That's when I realized that they were just in it for the money. That they didn't care about Marvel and the heroes themselves and the journeys of the characters. They just wanted to make a bunch of money off it.
Dude, Thor 4, right? Is there's a fourth Thor already, right?
Why did there need to be 4 of them ever, though?
And they're making more. And more Spider-Mans. You want to look, you do a trilogy.
Issues of comic books, I guess. They make movies.
They did Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and I'm like, makes sense. Then they did sequels, and they made them to trilogies. Then they did Doctor Strange, and I'm like, all this is fine. Guardians of the Galaxy was interesting to me because I was like, really? They think that franchise is going to do really well? And it did, and it was awesome. And the way they did the music and everything was absolutely incredible. And then we end up with Avengers Infinity War. And that was like, wow, that was a big send-off. It was a masterfully done movie. It was three movies spiraled around each other with the villain as the protagonist. It was incredible. And then Endgame was kind of wonky nostalgia. Welcome to the end. Have a nice day. And after that, it's just been a bunch of garbled Disney nonsense.
Yeah, the Infinity Gauntlet was, I think, Marvel's one of their best. I have it here. I have all 6 issues of it on my desk. I carry it around with me. It inspired me as a kid, but like they changed that. They made it about the spectacle. That they do just too much about the spectacle, too much about colors and big explosions and flying around, and less about the storylines and the characters themselves, which is what made Marvel so great. Was like the interpersonal relationships between the characters and the X-Men, for instance. That Wolverine was in love with Cyclops' wife, and they had like a special relationship, the two of them. And then the movies come out and it's just, I don't know.
Oh, look at
stop
this.
motion and weird effects and crap.
Bob Iger, who is complaining about Elon. Hi, Bob. Says the Marvels was shot during COVID. There wasn't as much supervision on the set, so to speak, where we have executives that are really looking over what's being done day after day after day. He argued that prior records the studio set in the billions of dollars have put expectations out of whack. We got to the point where if a film didn't do $1 billion in global box office, we were a disappointment. That's an unbelievably high standard, and I think we have to get more realistic. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 fared well over the summer, grossing $845 million in the box office, and I definitely went to go see that. It was certainly not as good as Guardians 1 is awesome. And it's mostly the soundtrack. And then they did with 2, they tried, aging some of the music. I don't think the soundtrack was as good in the 3rd one, but I'll go see those movies. The Marvel is garbage. It's woke garbage. It's girl power diversity nonsense that I'm not interested in watching. The first Captain Marvel was so bad. It's just, they tried making a female, a feminist hero's journey where it's like, it's the men that are holding you down. The power was inside of you the whole time, but the men were holding you back. That's the premise of the film. And I'm just like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And then they tried to make another one. I'm not going to go see it.
People are tired of it. I feel like there's just, since we've gone from, a merit-based system, there's been a decline across all industries. We're no longer hiring, the best writer that can produce the best script. We're hiring someone because they subscribe to this woke dogma, this belief system, or because they check an affirmative action box. And I think you're going to continue to see just massive flops like this in every industry if you do that, and especially art and entertainment. Yeah,
see, look, Robert Downey Jr. is a legend, and they made him Iron Man, and he nailed it. And Brie Larson was a diversity cast, and she does not have the talent, nor the capabilities, nor the right build to play Captain Marvel in the first place.
It's a guy. Captain Marvel was a guy.
Well, originally.
In the 70s, it's supposed to be a man. Why did they cast a woman as Marvel?
No. Okay. Look. You're getting into the deep
some of the weeds.
No, but the real issue is that there is a female Captain Marvel. They changed it in the comics. The story progressed, and they wanted to make the female version. Okay, getting a dainty how tall is Brie? 5'6", and she weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. I'm like, that right there is bad casting. But what they wanted to do was they were like, the time of men is over. They wanted to make a Marvel lead. I think Brie Larson was the knife in the chest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they were like, Robert Downey Jr. he's going to be out. It's been 10 years. We're going to need someone to come in and take the lead role in this franchise. And they chose Brie Larson, who I think has talent, but certainly not for this role. They said, just get us a woman. They chose Brie. It was the worst casting decision ever made. She's 100 pounds soaking wet and 5'6" or whatever. Maybe she's 5'7".
She's 5'7".
5'7". There you go. I was off by an inch. Are you kidding me? They're like, I said this, Robin Wright would have been way better for Captain Marvel. Way better. She's an older, more mature, and she's already shown that she can play these roles. This was a huge screw up. But if you look at the Marvels itself, I mean, come on, they're only doubling down on the diversity narrative.
It seems weird. And on top of that, it's not relatable. Like, if you want to have a female Captain Marvel, okay, I'll grant you that. Maybe you want to shake it up. The comics change, but the storyline should also appeal to women. And I don't think feminism actually appeals to women. So if you write a feminist story, not only is maybe this actress who's talented in other contexts but poorly cast here, that's already a challenge to overcome. And then you have this narrative of like, and then men are your enemies, which I don't think that's how a lot of women feel. And so it's just making nothing relatable. Women don't see themselves in the lead actress. They don't see how she's carrying out this role, and they don't like the storyline.
Well, she did well in Scott Pilgrim when she played a snooty bitch.
Like I said, she's talented in some places. She could be well cast elsewhere, but instead, like, was she just like trendy at the time? They were like, we got to get Brie Larson. Never mind what this is actually supposed to be doing.
What they thought with a lot of these the castings were like, we'll get someone who's up and coming and make them big because our movies are so popular. We don't got to pay a premium for them. Like, the thing about Robert Downey Jr., I'm pretty sure it was with Iron Man. They were like, they didn't want to cast him. Because they were like, your history and drug abuse, we're not interested. And then it was like, something happened where it was really hard, but they agreed to give him the role, and then he nailed it. And it
relaunched him in a lot of ways, right?
Right. And then what they did with a lot of the casting decisions for Marvel movies was no names. Like smaller actors who looked like they were on the up and coming, and Brie Larson was the failure. And they needed someone to carry the torch for Robert Downey Jr., and they chose the worst person, and the franchise has fizzled and just crumbled, and they've destroyed everything from underneath them. So get woke, go broke. They've admitted get woke, go broke. We have been warning them of get woke, go broke, and it feels really, really good to watch them get woke and go broke.
When I look at these movies, and I honestly don't go watch them. I'll see like ads and stuff. I see Mark Ruffalo and what's his name from Clueless, who I love. He's great.
Paul Rudd
and like Scarlett Johansson, and they all look like Paul Rudd a little bit, not so much, but they all look like they have this fake like intensity. It's like, we're super rich and we're on a Hollywood movie set right now. Look at how intense we are. That's the vibe I get. None of that is like, I'm never afraid for the characters. I'm never worried that They're not going to just dominate their surroundings. Even if they get hit, I know they're superheroes and they're going to get back up. Even if they bleed, they're going to be fine. And that's just it totally lacking. The whole, Superman losing his powers is one of the greatest things about Superman, that he has a vulnerability. And I don't get
wasn't I think that came about because the voice actor for the cartoon or something was going on vacation.
For which one? What cartoon?
I could be wrong about this. I read somewhere that Superman originally did not have a weakness, but the voice actor wanted to go on vacation, so they were like, Superman was made ill by kryptonite, so he's out.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like a radio show. Is that what it was?
That's the real life, everybody's got a weakness.
I don't know if it was a radio show or a TV show or something. I don't know. I just read something on the internet. That means it's true, so that's
That
how
is
it
how
works.
the internet
It
works.
wasn't NewsGuard certified, so I could be completely wrong
An
about
AI
this one.
bot wrote it. ESPN posted it.
Oh man, we are so close to AI reality, man. People are just going to be like, plug me in, I'm done. Elon Musk saying artificial general intelligence is 3 years away. That's the point at which you can just put on a VR headset and say, I want to play a video game where I fight dragons. And then the world just forms all around you and you're fighting dragons.
We got to get the movement done. We've got the treadmill downstairs, but it's still a little tight.
Have you tried it?
No, that was the feedback that I've heard so far, is it's a little hard to
Because you're in a harness and you're like not really walking.
Yeah, and you can't get those long gaits for long running yet.
Yeah, but it's not. Look, you're just gonna hook your brain up to it, and you're gonna go full on
think
brain.
you're running. In your
Yeah, you're gonna go full on brain in a vat. That's the future of AI. Once we get artificial general intelligence, the AI will just literally create the schematics for human computer brain interfaces. It will literally just be like, boom, here you go.
It's going to be weird because you're going to have a section of people who just flee to the woods. There are people who like are interested in technology and will want to engage with it. And then there will be other people who are like, I am out. We're going off the grid. Pack up the water. Let's get out of here.
No, I don't think
We're going to have a whole mountain community that the AI can't
they're
find.
not going to flee to the woods. The AI is not going to kill you. It's going to give you everything you've ever wanted.
No.
There's going to be people who just don't. And I think people in cities are going to be completely removed from the question. You're going to, one by one, your neighbors will stop answering their phones. Your friends will stop answering their phones. Slowly, over time, you'll have drinks on Friday night after work, and then someone doesn't show up, and you hit them up, and you're like, nah, I'm going to stay in tonight. One by one, your friends stop showing up to the bar until it's just you sitting there and being like, yo, where is everybody? And they're all plugged into their own micro universes where they get to be God.
They're all having drinks at the bar in the metaverse. You'll be the last one to realize.
No, they're
You
not
gotta
playing with
plug
they're
in.
not going to be playing games with each other, dude. They're like some dude is going to be like, sorry, I'm busy, and he's going to be in Skyrim fighting dragons. Another guy is going to be in like a special forces unit, it's Call of Duty-esque. Then the women are going to be playing 50 Shades of Grey. In fact, probably they're all just in porn. They're all just doing some weird, crazy combination of everything where they're fighting dragons and porn at the same time. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.